The new Bedwars update sucks. While I personally don't think any of the changes were bad, I just thought that what Hypixel added was simply too little too late. Now before I get into my thoughts on why the update isn't as great as most people were hoping, let's get into what the update actually added and changed. First off, there are two new practice modes in Bedwars: Pearl Clutch and Bow Practice. Pearl Clutch will spawn you a certain distance away from a platform in which you have to clutch on in order to survive. It's super easy and I really don't think it helps improving at all. Even when you crank it up to the hardest settings, which make your pearls appear in a random slot in your hotbar, and faces you in a completely random direction, it's still pretty easy to do. If you actually want to get better at pearling, I would recommend playing Pearl Fight, a game mode which isn't on Hypixel. The only server that's currently open that has a good Pearl Fight is Mediacraft. The IP will be in the description. Bow Practice isn't any better. It's literally just a zombie that's walking back and forth. You can adjust the height and also the speed at which the zombie walks, but I still don't think it's very useful in a practical situation. Instead, I'd recommend playing Bow Duels, which is on Hypixel. Bow Duels is exactly what it sounds like. It's a duels game mode where you have to kill your opponent with only a bow and also one pearl. It's pretty easy, it's pretty fun, and I would definitely recommend giving it a try. Alright, now let's talk about the Bedwars maps. I don't have all day, so I can't give my in-depth thoughts on each one individually, so here's a tier list. Keep in mind, I've only played like 1 or 2 games on these maps, and these are only my first impressions of the map, so take everything you see there with a grain of salt. Alright, now let's get into some of the good things that Hypixel did. First off, they added 3 new quests, 2 dailies and 1 weekly, which finally gives me an alternative to winning 10 Dream Bedwars games every single week. The daily quests require you to break 3 beds and final kill 15 players respectively, and the weekly quest requires you to final kill 150 players. One balance that Hypixel also added to quests is that now you actually have to complete the challenge you're doing to have it count towards the Challenger weekly quest. This means no more just leaving any challenge on and just failing it. You actually have to do the challenges to get the weekly quest. More good news, Hypixel also fixed quite a few bugs. I'll leave all of those in the description, but my favorite of which is the fix to fireballs and TNT not giving proper kill credit. Along with the bug fixes, there also came a ton of quality of life improvements. The prices of chain armor, water buckets, sponges, and bed bugs have all been lowered. Along with this, upgrading your forge will now increase the maximum amount of items it can hold. My favorite addition is the ability to change your quick buy from the lobby and not have to waste half of your game doing that. Oh wait, you still can't. They literally listed it in the patch notes that it was a thing, but it's not there. And if it is there, I can't find it. And you can't call me stupid for not being able to find it, because it should be right next to where you can change your hotbar manager, which they also added in this update. Alright, I'm sorry we had to get back to the bad news, but what are those new prestige colors? They really feel like they were just completely randomly chosen. Oh wait, OpenMind made them. Like I said before, I don't think any of the changes Hypixel made were particularly bad, but I was pretty disappointed with what Hypixel added. It's more about what I was expecting versus what was actually added. Now, I do know this is only part of the update, so obviously there's going to be new things that are coming out, but here are some things that I would love to be added in the next part of the update. First off, in terms of practice game modes, I would love to see a block in practice. I get that the majority of players don't actually block in, but I do think it would be a useful addition. I also think that Bedwars should get its own duels game mode, kind of like how Skywars got Skywars duels. I'm not thinking anything crazy, but I did have a cool idea of bed fight, but with the addition of kits. These kits would decide what bed defense you have, level of tools you spawn in with, weapons, utility, armor level, etc. Obviously these kits would have to be balanced accordingly, but I think it would be a pretty cool game mode. It's something that people could use to practice and warm up for Bedwars, and it could be a standalone game mode that's still pretty fun. Now if you've made it this far into the video, you might have noticed that this is actually my first video. I would really appreciate it if you were to subscribe because I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before my summer break ends. I know I've already said it a lot, but I honestly don't think the update was that bad. It was just lacking a bit of content. I'm actually super hopeful that the next part of the update will add what we've been waiting for. Until then, peace out.